Alright guys, welcome back to Persona 3 Reload. Last time we met in Persona 3, it was just another social link part, but actually this part is something different. It's a full moon boss battle! Woo! We've been waiting for this all week! So yes, tonight is a first full moon boss battle related to um, technically it's the second full moon boss battle because we did one and when we first awakened to our persona, but most people don't like to count that because technically it's not really a boss battle in the first place, since you just fight two generic enemies anyway, and the main shadow gets defeated in a cutscene, so really it's just a full moon tutorial battle, if that makes any sense. Now, when you first get into full moon boss battles, this game encourages that you went to the game kind of assumes you went to Tartarus at least once before the full moon boss battle. Meaning that certain mechanics, if you did not go to Tartarus at all or explore Tartarus far enough, certain things will not be available to my recollection. Like, I believe you won't be able to shift in battles related to full moon battles. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, mainly because I've never tried to... I have yet to do a run of this game where I don't go to Tartarus at all until the end game, so I don't know if, tutorials like shifting and stuff like that happen during the full moon battle, especially this one. But the other reason I say that this game sort of assumes that you went to Tartarus at least once is because obviously it's a boss battle and it's going to be a lot harder than your generic enemy. Now, yes, I think I had mentioned that Mitsuru will force you to go to Tartarus at least once if you don't go to Tartarus by April 30th. But again, I think I mentioned also that there is absolutely nothing stopping you from letting that cutscene happen where she forces you, going up one floor of Tartarus and then leaving. Meaning that technically you did nothing. And, well, yeah. Now, this full moon battle will not be a problem for me because I'm level 99, or level 90 something, so yeah, this is not going to be a problem at all.
Inconsistencies will be left behind.
In other words, we need to kick some ass, right? Well, count me in.
Junpei... Akihiko, you stay here and wait for the chairman.
What? Are you kidding? I'm going.
You still need time to recover. Like this, you'd only get in the way.
He only has a broken rib. Quit being a baby. Akihiko's a man.
Have faith in them, Akihiko. They've already seen battle firsthand.
Yeah, Akihiko, you baby back bitch.
Relax. I've got it covered.
Actually, there was one thing I failed to mention back at the event where we unlock our persona, and that has to do with Akihiko.
Can you do it?
I didn't really pay attention to it, well, mainly because I noticed it my first playthrough, and, some people would think it's an error, but in actuality, we're gonna find out later that it was intentional. Akihiko's actually wearing in the beginning of the game, when you first unlock your persona, when Akihiko's coming back from the, when Akihiko's coming back to the dorm after being chased off by the shadow, and in the cutscene where you unlock, where Makoto awakens to his persona, you see Akihiko's wearing the new armband for, C's, which, we're gonna find out later was not actually an error on the developer's part. It was actually intentional because Akihiko was testing it. Oh yeah, Mitsuru has a motorcycle that works. Kept you waiting, huh?
Tonight I'll be providing support from here. Everything else is the same. The shadow is currently located on a monorail not far from the station. To get there, you'll have to walk on the tracks.
Are you serious? Isn't that dangerous?
Not to worry. Electronic equipment is rendered inoperable during the dark hour, including trains.
But your bike?
This was specially made to handle it. Now, if circumstances...
Bike falls over.
I'll notify you immediately. All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Yeah! Let's do this!
I actually really love this theme that's playing. It's called Deep Deep Breath, and it's a remix, obviously, since... I don't know if I mentioned this, but none of the original tracks in Persona 3 are in this game. In terms of names, they're still there, but they are all pure remixes. There is not... there is no original version of the song. They are remixed in some sort of fashion. Which just there was one complaint that I heard a lot when Reload came out and was making its rounds, was that there was no legacy music option. And in all honesty, I'm fine with that. I mean, I still have the original soundtracks on Apple Music and shit like that. So I can still, it's not like you can't listen to the music at all. Yeah, some people prefer having the original music over the current music. In certain instances, I prefer having the original. One huge example to me is actually Mass Destruction. I love Mass Destruction, but the remix in this game is just not good. It loses some of its impact, especially, when you get to the chorus and stuff like that. It's not the same. It just doesn't feel, as, what's the word, impactful, I guess. It's just kind of bland and blah. But I do love the new battle theme, It's Going Down Now is, it really does make up for that. And the remix, and most of the other remixes are really good in their own way. I know some people complain about Iwa Todai Dorm, remix, but I actually kind of like it. It's an earworm to me.
A person, right?
No, that's a grave.
They've been transmog. Creepy. But these guys aren't gonna remember a thing of all this, yeah? Probably better that way.
Huh?
Damn! It won't open!
What's wrong? What happened?
It looks like we're trapped inside.
It must be the shadow. It knows you're there. Be ready for anything. Stay on full alert.
Roger.
yeah, I'm gonna run backwards. So yeah, for full moon battles, there are times where you have to do a little exploration to actually get to the boss battle, and most of the time it's just straight lines. There's not really anything to find in full moon battles. I think there's only one exception, and that's only to find Twilight Fragments, but that's not for a while. So you're not really doing much exploration when it comes to the full moon battles. And in terms of like random encounters, there's not really any. Yeah, we are going to be fighting some random enemies in this specific battle, but technically they're not really random because they just kind of pop up and then you fight them. I think in the original, I'm trying to remember correctly. I haven't played the original in so long. My memory of the original is kind of blawed right now. If I'm remembering correctly, in the original, there were random encounters, but they were pretty easy to ignore, so it didn't matter. But I can't quite remember.
We can't just stand here and let it get away.
Oh yeah, this is kind of when Junpei starts becoming a little fucking douchebag here. He kind of... So, this is kind of Junpei's arc. Where he is kind of jealous of us being the leader all the time. And according to him, we shouldn't be the leader because apparently we don't give a shit. But, if it was, the anime, that'd be accurate. But this ain't the anime.
Nicely done. Enemy eliminated. All right, you won. Great.
But like for the next few months now, Junpei's kind of gonna be kind of a dick to us for no reason. Mainly, there's just gonna be times where he's just gonna be giving us a look or glaring daggers at us and shit like that because he's a whiny little baby about not being the leader.
What are you thinking?
From what I can tell, he's only a few cars ahead.
Okay, we'll catch up to... No, get out of our way!
I like how she says get out of her way and then another one pops up. Like nah.
Nicely done. Enemy eliminated.
You know, another thing about the Master Destruction remix I don't really like is the trumpets, or whatever instrument that is. I don't really like it. It's not as good as, I mean, I don't know. It just feels sort of... overall, the vibe of this version of Mass Destruction just seems very, you know, not laid back, but more relaxed than the original did. The original, you know, there was a beat to it, and, you know, you felt like you were in the middle of a battle that probably didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it was still a fun time. Here, it's just kind of... It's nice. I mean, in terms of the listening ability, I can listen to the remix of Mass Destruction. You know, like, it's not like I want to rip my ears off or something like that upon listening to it. By the way, my sword is blatantly clipping through that chair.
Let's go. There he is! Oh no, he's surrounded by enemies. We gotta help him, quick! Junpei!
Got it under control.
Let's go.
You know, one thing I love about RPG logic is the way RPG logic kicks in here, is the simple fact that the second we go into a battle, the train car seems to expand like by twice its size. You know, I kind of like that here. You know, because back in the, like, you know, back in the cutscene, you know, you could barely get all three of them into the same, you know, you could barely fit all three of them in the aisle at around the same space. Here, they get standing next to each other and about 6 feet apart, no problem. I just kind of find that funny.
All right, you won. Great work out there.
See? That's what happens when you don't listen. Well, are you okay?
Of course I am. I was doing just fine.
Were you?
Hey, what's your problem?
Be careful, you three. I don't detect any movement, but stay alert.
That's a problem.
Why are we moving?
It looks like the entire monorail is under the Shadow's control.
I thought you said electronic devices couldn't move during the dark hour. What the hell happened to that, Mitsuru?
This doesn't look good.
If we don't stop it, it's going to crash into the next train.
That's not a problem. It would be a problem if we're still on it.
Calm down and listen. I detect a powerful reading in the front car. That must be our target. You'll have to defeat that to stop the runaway train.
Crap. What kind of messed up ride is this?
Also, throughout this entire Full Moon battle, there was something in me that wanted me to just have me do all the work and have Junpei do absolutely nothing. Because that's kind of my favorite thing about Junpei, is that he will say, like, nailed it, Junpei, or whatever, even if you did all the work in that battle. Like, Junpei will act like he did everything, when really all he did was stand there and look pretty. Honestly, you know, I'm glad that, you know, in Reload specifically, Junpei isn't as fucking useless as he was back in FES. 'Cause Jesus Christ. Junpei was kind of useless to me back in FES, but that might be just me. You know, he just, you know, he got replaced by Akihiko the second Akihiko joined the party again. I was like, alright, Junpei, you're on the bench from here on out. But Reload improved. Reload really just kind of improved everybody in some fashion. You know, there were a few of the characters got nerfed in terms of, you know, what they could pull off in FES/Reload versus, you know, what they could pull off in Reload versus FES. Where, You know, they don't have access to certain abilities like they used to. And I'm mainly talking about the other party members and not Makoto, since Makoto has access to all the personas, you know, you could possibly want. There's not really any room to say Makoto could be a weak party member in any regard.
I've never seen one this big before, but there's no time.
Alright, so this full moon battle actually has a bit of a gimmick, and that's what most of the full moon battles have, is that they have some sort of gimmick related to them. This one is just simply a time limit. You know, you have 30 minutes to defeat the enemy, and, you know, at first it's going to seem like, you know, this is too easy. 30 minutes? That's easier than the Okumura fight. Well, one thing I'm not going to mention yet, well, okay, I'm going to mention it now, is that as you do more damage to the shadow, the timer seemingly goes down by a pretty good margin, to where you'll be barely scraping by.
What to do? Never mind. I'll go with not that.
Am I gonna fucking... Like, can you stop activating your persona? Either use it or don't.
What next?
But besides that, this boss is not that hard. This is not that hard. But again, level 90, gotta keep reminding you. Yeah, I believe Invitation to Chaos is where the train speeds up. Yeah. Or monorail, sorry. Yeah.
Bed off the monorail? There's even less time until impact now. Hurry!
What to do?
We gotta take it down soon. Now's the time.
But, you know, if you can pretty much guess what happens if you let the timer run out, don't. But again, this is not a hard battle. You know, if you have a basic sense of strategy, you know, using buffs and debuffs and stuff like that, you'll be able to get through this battle no problem.
You're running out of time.
Yeah, the Shadow only does Invitation to Chaos after certain damage intervals, and I do believe after a couple turns it will start to summon more shadows to fight, you know, just to really just kind of get in the way. But again, focus on the big one, and that's it. You get the High Priestess Tarot, but that's gonna be for a late. That's gonna be when we go back to Tartarus next, which isn't gonna be for a while.
Did we make it in time? Hey, wait! Why are we still moving?
We're going too fast. We need to put on the brakes or...
What are you waiting for? You're coming up on the next train fast.
Oh yes, let me just pull the knowledge of how to operate a train out of my ass real quick. I actually do that. Hold up.
Did we stop?
No, we're dead.
I think so.
Do you read me? Is everyone all right?
Yeah. We're okay. My knees are shaking.
Dude, I'm like drenched in sweat.
It sounds like you're safe. I'm sorry I couldn't do more to help on my end. I don't detect any more shadows. Well done. You can come on back now.
Wait, how did you know which one was the brake?
Oh, it's simple. It was the giant lever that was labeled brake.
You saved me again. Thanks.
You know,
You know, like 98% sure most monorails have the brakes labeled.
Starving.
And if not, that's stupid, because, man, what if an emergency like that actually happens in real life?
It's me.
Reporting in from the scene. We've just finished up over here. The monorail did not sustain any noticeable damage.
A job well done, Kirijo-kun. When I heard they hijacked a monorail, I feared the worst. Excellent work taking care of that. Now I don't have to worry about tomorrow's headlines.
But how would they explain the monorail? Never mind.
In a surprisingly short time.
I was about to ask, like, how would they explain the monorail being in one place, you know, out of nowhere? Like, especially if it's in the middle of the track, especially when you consider that the monorail was braked. You know, they just, you know, put the brakes on the monorail. You know, I can believe that people thought, oh, the monorail is just, you know, if the monorail stopped at that place, you know, and then kept going right after. But I'm going to assume, since Makoto put on the brakes, he didn't take them off the brakes, meaning that when they leave, the monorail's still going to be braked, right? Am I crazy? Oh, okay, never mind. You know what? Forget it. We're going to ask. There's water downstairs. Drink out of the tap.
Wait. Don't tell me that bicycle outside is yours.
Boy, am I going to be sore tomorrow.
I like to imagine he just stole the little kid's tricycle for some reason. He's like, "Move, bitch! I need to get to the dorm." Just pushes a little kid off their bicycle. It just pedals to the metal. Just move, bitch! Get out the way. Just like, I don't know. It's just the mental image of a Kutsuki riding a bike that's like 2 feet off the ground. I don't know. Oh man, I'm stupid. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna end the part here. So the next time we meet in Persona 3 Reload, we're gonna go right back into social link parts, because we finished the full moon fight, meaning that there's no dark hour stuff for a while. So see you guys next time, and take care, man. I want fan art of that for some reason.